Here for postgame press conference with head coach Dustin Kerns. He will begin with an opening statement.
Yeah, tough finish against a really good team, really good program. Proud of our fight, but disappointed in our play. 7 assists, 17 turnovers is not going to beat anybody, and disappointed.
Dustin, talk about the kind of the split between the run that got you back in it, which was primarily driven off your defense, at least in my opinion, and then you hit that 6:04 mark, you're up 5, and you guys don't make a field goal the rest of the way. Take us through kind of the harsh transition from jumping back in the lead and then, not being able to execute in the half court down the stretch.
Yeah, David, I thought it was subs. I thought that group did a tremendous job getting us back in the game, and they were absolutely exhausted. They were asking to be subbed. We subbed some guys in that should have helped us keep it going, and we tried to execute. We tried to run some stuff to get some guys some specific looks. I thought we missed a couple quality looks. We got fouled some, but at the end of the day, we got to be able to sub with our depth, especially who we sub with, and carry this on. But I credit that particular 5 for getting us back in it.
First half, Furman scores 20 in the paint on you, and they take the lead on that.
Turnovers, yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of their game. I mean, you kind of expect that. Second half, you cut that down to 10 in the paint. Anything defensively? I mean, the turnovers were a part of it, but defensively, you guys started kind of forcing them back out to the perimeter. What was the shift?
Yeah, David, we started switching some. They're a well-oiled machine and a well-coached team, and so we had to try to get them out of the rhythm offensively. We actually went zone. We haven't really played zone all season. We played some zone. Then we really started switching some intentionally, and then just switching some as an emergency, which kind of got them out of rhythm. And I thought we were really having them take tough shots. At the end of the game, they got some offensive rebounds that kind of, stung us. And so we were just trying to keep them out of the rhythm. We got some stops and got out in transition. We just couldn't finish it again.
First half, Donovan only plays 8 minutes. He had a few turnovers there. Did you kind of have him sit out maybe to kind of gather himself a little bit? Because he came back in the second half and put up 12.
He did, yeah. Donovan's a really good player, and just trying to, he was getting sped up. We're trying to have him get the ball up and get it back at times. But he was getting really sped up, playing in a crowd, turned the ball over, and so just trying to settle him down. The other group kind of got in there and gave us some life offensively. Certainly he attacked the basket well in the second half, but still had a couple turnovers there. I mean, negative 13 with him in the game is very uncharacteristic of him, especially the only guy in double digits negative. We lose by 4. And so, he knows it. Donovan's a good player. He's a winner. He'll bounce back, but he's got to play better.
Last question for me. The last time you guys led a game at halftime was Louisville. Now, you've managed to win a couple of those games along the way, so that's important too. But, as far as those first halves go, and especially one where you're down double digits, what is kind of the missing ingredient right now in your mind?
Yeah, I think that there's been different reasons to start that lineup. But we're going to have to change that. I think it's a lineup issue. We've talked about it. Once again, there's some valid reasons of why we have started that lineup. But I think now it's time to change it up.
Coach, Trey Blake here with the Appalachian. Furman had 17 fast break points in the first half. You let 0 up in the second half. What can you say to your transition defense?
Well, it really wasn't our transition defense other than it was our offense turning the ball over. And so I think we had 10 turnovers at the half, and that's how they were scoring. And so it's really hard to play transition when you're turning the ball over. And a lot of them were live turnovers. and so those are really difficult, especially against a high-powered offense like Furman. And so we just put ourselves in a tough spot. Once again, I'm proud of our fight. I'm proud of we came back. We had a really good look to us there, and that particular five did a tremendous job, but we had to sub them. I didn't want to, but they were exhausted. And we made some subs, and that hurt us. But, yeah.
The depth is something that you guys lean on heavily. The only person to not play over 14 minutes was Tamel Pearson.
Yeah.
What can you say about that depth?
Yeah, I mean, our depth is part of our strength. I think we're 46th in the country out of 358 teams in bench scoring. That's never been the case. That is a huge positive that we're top 50 in bench scoring in the nation. And so, but I think with this particular team, it's going to be different people each night in the sense of, at ETSU it was DeBaji Walker. Chris Mantis played well. Xavier was tremendous defensively. Tonight I thought Justin Abson was once again solid again. But we're going to have to just keep finding that group, and then go with it in the second half. And we found it, and they were exhausted. And we had two guys like, Coach, I need one, and our guys are great about that stuff in the sense they're thinking for the team. And but then there was a dip back.
Any other questions? Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.